YouTube, back with another how to play, how to sign in, how to buy. Today we're going to be talking about Geargia. They're one of the new best engines out there right now, and they're really good, really powerful, really consistent. The thing with Geargia is they're actually an engine. They're not so much a deck unto themselves. They're used in complement with other decks. It's not like Gravekeepers where they could be both, where they're an entire deck by themselves, or you can use like 3 Spies and Descendant in other builds to complement other decks. They're more like wind-ups where they're an entire deck and they just use like the extra deck as the powerhouse monsters and they make up the whole 40 cards on their own. Geargias are used either in complement, usually with Machina or Karakuri, to really get their full power off. Now they're all earth monsters and they're all machines, so that gives you a little heads up on what to side. But first we're going to go into the cards themselves. So you have 5 main cards, 4 main deck cards. First you have Arsenal, Accelerator, Armor, and MKE2. Let's start off with MK2. MK2 is really good. Most people are going to probably be playing either 0 to 2 of these. Some builds try to focus on the 4-star aspect of the Geargianos, so they don't play any MK2s because he's a 3-star. But most builds are going to be playing at least 2 of him because he's really good for late game plays, resetting up your Geargias, and going into rank 3 XYZ. He has 1000 attack, and his effect is when he's normal or flip summon, you can special summon a Geargia from your hand or grave in defense position. This is really good, helps you recover late games, helps you set up those armors to go off again, and yep. Then, Armor. Most of you guys know what he does by now. He's a 1900 defense, kind of like a Gravekeeper Spy, except that he sends it to your hand instead of special summoning it. But yeah, he's really good. He's one of the best cards in the game right now, best engine cards in the game right now that Tengu and, of course, Tour Guide are less seen often. He's 1900 defense, which means even Ryo can't run him over, and everyone's running Ryo right now. Ryo does stop his charging ability, which is useful, but he can just flip himself back down. One thing to know, one ruling about him is that if you flip him, let's say it's your turn and he's face down. If you flip him up manually, then you can use his effect to flip him back down. That's fine. But let's say your opponent attacked him and then he was left up like this. Now it's your turn, starting with him face up. You can use his effect to flip him down, and now you can flip him up manually. But even though he should have been reset because he was face down, you can't use his effect to flip him back down again. It was ruled this way. It's one of those weird things about Yu-Gi-Oh! Despite the game mechanics, the rulings are the rulings and you can't go against them, unfortunately. So yeah, you can't reuse his effect abusively too much, but that he doesn't need that. He's strong enough on his own. Next you have the Arsenal, the lone Fire Blossom of the deck. You tribute him to get any Geargia in face-up defense position. Really good. One of the little-known facts is that he does gain 200 attack for every Geargia on the field, including himself. So even though it says 1500, he's an automatic 1700. If you have this guy on the field, he's at 1900, which means he can ram into Ryo. And if you have more of these on the field, he can go up to probably 25 or so. 25 or 27. So, usually you're not going to be using that aspect, but it is a convenient thing in case you need to ram a Ryo or something. Last but not least, one of the main cards of the deck, Accelerator. This guy can special summon himself in face-up defense if you have a Geargia on the field. And he's 1400, so he can't be bottomless. This is really good. This is why the deck is so explosive and why it can make so many other decks add that explosivity to them. He can special summon himself if there's any Geargia on the field, so even if you draw 3 of these guys, they're not dead. You summon 1, special, and then go XYZ. Now for one of the main plays. If you draw any of these 6 monsters, or if you pot a duality into any of these 3, you can do this play, and it's very common. Either you summon Arsenal and tribute to get a face-up armor on the field, or you just have your armor in your hand and then set it. Now when it's your opponent's turn, they attack into it, you get your search, you search into Accelerator. Now it's your turn again. You flip him face down with his effect, flip him face up, search another Accelerator, and now you can special these 2, XYZ into Gear Gigant X, and then set this off to search for any level 4 or lower machine type monster in your deck. Now let's talk about Gear Gigant X. 2300 attack machine for rank 4. He needs actual machine type monsters to summon him, so he's not Geargia specific, and he's not actually a Geargia card, but he came out in the same deck, same set, and he flows so well with it that he's practically one of them. He's really powerful because he can search for any level 4, which means for Machina, he can search for that Gearframe. He can search for Sazan in Karakuri, and so you can start off the tuning cycle. Or Gearframes can get you that fortress, and you can just go for OTKs and stuff like that. So in this situation, you can search for, if you're playing Machina, which is one of the more popular builds, summon Gearframe after you search for him, get fortress, ditch one of the many machines you can have in your hand for this, and there you have it. You have almost 8,000 attack on the field. Actually, yeah, you have almost 8,000 attack on the field just by doing that. Not to mention a bunch of other plays you guys I'm sure can come up with. This is just showing you some of the basics. It's really good, really powerful deck. They can do a lot of different moves, and they just gain advantage so much, especially because this guy has 1900 defense. It's just so nice. I mean, they're running into him with aliases, Wind Up Rabbit. This card is gonna make a lot of decks afraid to attack because they don't want you to start getting pluses, and they don't want you to be able to set him and get another one on your turn. They want you to at least waste your turn summoning him, and then maybe they can solemn him then. It's the same idea from Spy, that they just had that same kind of fear. Also, if this guy, another little known fact, if he's sent from the field to the grave, you can target one Geargia monster in your graveyard, except Accelerator, and add that target to your hand. So if he's destroyed in battle, or torrential, you can just get another arsenal or another armor back to your hand to set up the plays for next turn, or another MK2, which is really useful and really powerful. It just keeps the deck going, keeps it going consistently. Also, if he's used for a synchro summon, you can do the same thing, which is really nice. He doesn't work if you send him as an XYZ material, obviously, because he's not on the field if he's the material. But yeah. Now, how to side. Also, with MK2, this gives the Geargias access to not only rank 4s, but rank 3s, because MK2s can summon themselves, which also gives them access to Soul of Silver Mountain, which is a good card that most people haven't paid attention to. It needs 2 level 3 Earth monsters, 1800 attack, and essentially it can pick one set spell or trap on your opponent's side of the field, and they can't activate it as long as Soul of Silver Mountain is on the field. You can also detach one XYZ material to target one Earth in your graveyard and special summon that in face-up defense, which just adds more synergy because you can special summon another armor, or special summon any one of the tuners for Karakuri, or a Gearframe that you can attach to any of your machines. Now, how to side. Obviously, Thunder King. Thunder King is a great card. It's really powerful. It stops them from searching. You can ram it into armor all day. Unfortunately, it won't kill armor, but it does stop them from searching and getting those pluses, which means they're going to have to wait a little. But it's still not that great because, one, this Geargias tend to run a lot of back row, so they're going to have traps ready for Thunder King. But even if they don't, you can easily accelerate, get any XYZ they don't care about, kill this, set it, and try again next turn. There's a lot of plays they can do to get around Thunder King. It does slow the deck down, but it doesn't kill it. Next, Valor. You're going to want to say Valor for either when they normal summon this, so they don't get their pluses off searching, or for when they use Gear Gigant and they use his effects, so he doesn't keep searching. But usually you can Valor this so they don't get the search, and he can't flip it back face down until the next turn, which is nice. So Valor's useful in that. You're going to need to kill him next turn, though, with whatever you can, even if it's a Thunder King, just attack into it, and hopefully they don't have a back row, a D Prison, or a Mirror Force. Lastly, everyone knows Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon's amazing. It can kill this entire field and turn it into a 5k beatstick. It's very easy, very powerful. Everyone's going to be expecting it, though. They're going to have Bottomless, they're going to have Solemn, they're going to have everything to kill this card, so you have to be careful. Either you can Lance it, or MST the field, or try and heavy. Try and do what you can to get rid of their monsters, but it's a risky play, but it's a very powerful play if you get it off. Now, specifically on Machina, they can easily get over 8,000 on the board, and with limiter removal, if they're running it, they can OTK almost any time. And the thing with Fortress is that since they can drop them or recover them from the grave, you never know when it's going to happen, so you're going to want to end the game as fast as possible. As far as with Karakuris go, you need to stop the explosion, the double Burritos, the double Borets. You just need to stop it from going off. It's really dangerous if it does, and even if they don't go off with the 5 monster field, they can still end with the Stardust and make it hard to get rid of their monsters. Now, Scraps, actually, a lot of them play Geargias now, which is really good. It adds the consistency in the level 4 monsters we needed, so that's really powerful. They're probably not going to be nearly as popular a deck as the other two, so you don't really have to worry about them, but it's a good thing to know about. Also, Call of the Haunted. Since it is a lone Fire Blossom, if you Call of the Haunted back in Arsenal, Tribute, Armor, Set, and you're good to go. Now, how to buy. I don't think they're going to be going up in price anymore. The hype, I think, has reached its max. Geargia Armor, if you have them, should probably start selling them. I don't see them going past $20. They're about $16 or $17 on eBay right now, which is pretty good. And I think they're good trade bait, good thing to sell. That's about it for them. As far as Arsenal and Accelerator go, these guys, Arsenal's are rare, Accelerators are common, and MK2 is a common too. So they're not going to be worth much. A couple dollars maybe for Arsenal, Accelerator less than $1, and MK2 less than $1. They're great cards, but not something you can really hold on to for buying and trading. You might want to look into getting, if you have any hidden, some shiny Cyber Dragons. These guys people might want to be trading and upgrading their Cyber Dragons, which is always nice. Also, if you have any Chimera Techs lying around, people might have gotten rid of these now that since Machina weren't so big, and they have other ways of getting rid of Zenmans with Compulse. Good thing to have around, extra trade bait. But the money card, Gear Gigant X. This guy on eBay right now is about $65, which is just ridiculous. He was about $12, I think, before the YCS. He is a secret rare, and if you have him, I say sell him now, honestly. Hold on to him until the next YCS maybe, and see if Geargias are topping that one. And I'm sure they will top it, but if they're winning it, that's the only way I see his price going up even more. He's about the price of that Zenmains used to be, and that's just kind of ridiculous to me, because Zenmains' versatility and power overwhelms, I think, Gear Gigant X. Gear Gigant X only works for Geargias, and Zenmains was for everything, especially with Tour Guide. So it's just kind of, I'm surprised that he's this expensive, so if you have him, I would sell him right now, and yeah. So I think that's it for now. That's mainly it for the Geargias. They're a really good deck, really powerful. If you have any armors and you want to trade them, tell me. And yeah, I would get it. I would get them, use them, test them out, see if you like them. They add a lot of consistency to decks. They're really new, so keep trying new ideas, new archetypes that you can meld them with, and see what you can do. Next time I'm going to be talking about Madolches. I'm building this deck for my fiancé. It's actually pretty good. It's tier 2 for sure after Abyss Rising comes out, and it's probably going to be even better if tweaked right or if we get any TCG exclusives. But thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know any comments or questions you have, and I'd be glad to answer them. Later.